Hybrid versus plug-in hybrid. Which one is the better choice to go with? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. Although many consumers might be considering making the change from a traditional gas car into a fully electric car, many might not be quite ready to make that full transition quite yet. And that is exactly what makes a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid car so appealing. They are the perfect transition car for anyone who's ready to move away from a traditional gas car, but they're not ready to commit to a fully electric car quite yet. The question though is, what exactly do you need to know about a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid before buying one, and which one is the smarter choice to go with? Well, make sure to stick around to the end of the video because that's what we're going to find out. So let's start things off by going over regular hybrid cars first. Now, for those who don't know, a hybrid is basically a regular gas car with an internal combustion engine that also has an electric motor and a battery pack that helps to improve the fuel economy. Think of the electric motor as a helper, taking some of the workload off of the engine, helping to make it much more fuel efficient. Now, hybrid critics will argue that it doesn't make sense to buy a hybrid car because you're never going to recoup the extra money that you spend buying a hybrid in fuel savings. Now, that might have been true in the past, but that's not exactly the case today with many hybrids. The reality is that the price difference between hybrids and their non-hybrid equivalents has dropped significantly, and you're not going to have to spend a lot of extra money in order to get the hybrid option. Let's use this 2022 Ford Escape hybrid that I'm driving right now as an example of what I'm talking about. Ford only charges around $1,000 to $2,000 more in order to get the hybrid option over the equivalent gas model for the Escape, which is not a huge price premium to pay. It's especially reasonable when you consider how much money you could save on gas, because the hybrid version of the Escape is very fuel efficient. On average, the hybrid achieves around 40 miles per gallon or around 6 liters per 100 kilometers, which is up to 50% better than the regular gas model. The regular gas versions of the Escape with the 1.5 or 2 liter EcoBoost engines are only able to get around 30 miles per gallon by comparison, so there's no question you're going to save a lot of money by going with the hybrid option. And that's pretty much in line with what you can expect to get with other equivalent hybrid models. And some hybrids are even able to achieve up to 50 to 60 miles per gallon or as little as 4 liters per 100 kilometers. Let's say you spend around $2,500 a year on gas. If you were to go with the hybrid option and save yourself around 40% a year, that amounts to around $1,000 a year in gas savings. That means that the hybrid option will have paid itself off within 2 to 3 years. Now, obviously that's going to vary depending on the amount of driving and the type of driving that you do, but the bottom line is that the hybrid will make sense if you plan on keeping your car for at least 5 to 10 years. And this is true of many of the popular hybrids on the market right now. Take, for example, the Toyota Corolla hybrid or the RAV4 hybrid. Both models don't cost a lot more money than their gas-only equivalents, but the amount of money that you're going to save in gas is huge. So it's no surprise really that these models are incredibly popular and in very high demand. And the great thing about a hybrid is that it doesn't require you to compromise or change your lifestyle in any way. Just fill it up at a regular gas station like any other car. Only because it's going to save you a lot of money in gas, you're not going to have to do it very often. The other nice thing about hybrids is that it's proven technology. Take Toyota, for example. They've been making hybrid cars for over 2 decades, and their hybrids are known to be some of the most reliable and long-lasting cars on the market. They don't require any more money when it comes to maintenance and repairs, and in many cases, they can actually save you money. Now, some might be worried about the need to replace the hybrid battery pack, but the reality is that this is a very rare and unlikely scenario. Most hybrids come with a very long warranty on their hybrid components, at least 8 to 10 years, and battery failure is exceptionally rare. And the great thing is that if it does happen, you don't necessarily need to go with a brand new expensive battery pack as a replacement. There are aftermarket solutions and remanufactured batteries that can cost a lot less money, so it's not exactly a big deal. Now that brings us to the only downside of owning a hybrid, which is that you're still going to have to spend money on gas. Hybrids don't have the ability to run purely on electricity, so you're still going to need to fill up at gas stations once in a while, just like a regular gas car. So for those who want that dedicated pure electric range and don't want to spend much money on gas, you're going to want to consider a plug-in hybrid car instead. Now, a plug-in hybrid car is basically mechanically identical to a regular hybrid. The only major difference is that the electric motor and battery pack are much larger, which gives it a dedicated electric range and more power. Now, unlike a regular hybrid, which always needs to run on both electricity and gas, a plug-in hybrid has the ability to run on pure electricity for a certain amount of range. Depending on the type of plug-in hybrid that you're looking at, this can be anywhere from 25 to 55 miles or around 35 to 80 kilometers. Now, considering that's about as far as most people will drive in a day, that's not too bad, which means that you could realistically not spend any money on gas if you buy a plug-in hybrid. Now, what's really great about a plug-in hybrid is that you don't need to worry about that electric range running out, because once you run out of range, the gas engine will turn on and it's going to run like a normal hybrid car. In most cases, when plug-in hybrids run in regular hybrid mode with the gas engine on, they get the exact same fuel economy as their hybrid-only equivalents, which means you can realistically expect to get anywhere from 40 to 60 miles per gallon, or around 4 liters to 6 liters per 100 kilometers. And if you want to regain that electric range, all you need to do is plug it in like a regular electric car. And because plug-in hybrids don't have a super large battery pack like an electric car, they don't take anywhere near as long to charge. Most plug-in hybrids are able to fully charge in under 4 hours using a level 2 charger, which is the type that you typically see as a commercial charger or the type that you can get installed at your house. If you only use a level 1 normal household outlet, however, this will take much longer, typically anywhere from 8 to 15 hours. Now, plug-in hybrids do typically cost a lot more money than the equivalent gas or hybrid model, anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 more. But the great thing is that many plug-in hybrids do qualify for government incentives depending on where you're located. These rebates and incentives can sometimes be thousands of dollars and can reduce the price of a plug-in hybrid to below that of the regular hybrid model. Now, there are other things you need to consider if you're thinking about buying a plug-in hybrid car. For example, you need to have the ability to charge and plug in your car. So you're either going to have to install a charger in your driveway or have access to one at work or where you're located. Now, many often wonder, how much does it exactly cost to charge an electric car? And how do the cost of electricity compare to the cost of gas? Now, electricity rates obviously vary depending on where you're located and even the time of the day that you charge the car. For example, if you charge your car mostly at night during off-peak hours, you're going to spend a lot less money versus charging the car during the day, when electricity rates are much higher. You also need to consider how much charging you're going to do at home versus using a commercial charger on the go. Most commercial chargers can cost quite a bit, and you might not be saving as much money as you might think. So even though it might be a bit difficult to calculate exactly how much money you're going to save with a plug-in hybrid versus a regular hybrid or a gas car, if you live somewhere where electricity doesn't cost a lot of money and you can do most of your charging at home, you are realistically going to save yourself a lot of money in gas. So, taking all of these different things into consideration, is it worth it to buy a plug-in hybrid car over a regular hybrid? Well, the answer is it really depends on your situation. For example, if you live somewhere with electric car incentives that can reduce the price of the plug-in hybrid close to that of the price of the regular hybrid, then it's definitely going to make a lot of sense. You also need to factor in how much driving you're going to be doing on pure electricity, whether you have access to a charger at home or on the go, and how much electricity costs versus how much gas costs. If you live somewhere where you have regular access to an electric charger and you're going to do most of your driving on electricity, and you live somewhere where electricity rates are very cheap, a lot less than that of paying for gas, then again, it's going to make a lot of sense to buy a plug-in hybrid. You're also going to have a car that most likely has much higher resale value as well. As gas prices continue to go up, the demand for hybrids and plug-in hybrids is only going to continue to go up too, which means that you're going to get a lot of money down the road if you decide to sell or trade in your car. Now, based on all of these things, a plug-in hybrid does seem to be the way to go, but there are situations where a regular hybrid car might make more sense for you. For example, if you live somewhere where you don't have access to a charger, then buying a regular hybrid is going to make a lot more sense. There are definitely a lot of things that you need to consider before making a decision, but either way, buying a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid car is a great compromise between a gas and fully electric car. The challenging part though is that because most people are aware of this, hybrids and plug-in hybrids are in incredibly high demand, and it can be very difficult to buy one depending on where you're located. That's definitely the case with some of the most popular models on the market, like say for example, the Toyota RAV4 Prime plug-in hybrid, which can have a 1-year waiting period in many areas. Even the regular hybrid version of the RAV4 has a long wait, anywhere from 4 to 6 months. And the same is true with many other popular models as well. So if you're thinking about buying a plug-in hybrid or a hybrid, you definitely need to plan ahead and be prepared to wait a very long time. Some of the most popular hybrid and plug-in hybrid models on the market include the Toyota RAV4, the Hyundai Tucson and Hyundai Santa Fe, the Kia Sorento, the Ford Escape, and the Honda CR-V. And if you're looking at just a regular compact car or mid-size car, you can also consider models like the Toyota Prius or the Toyota Camry, the Honda Accord, or the Hyundai Sonata. Now, in order to decide which of these models to go with, make sure to take a look at my top 10 video on the best hybrid and plug-in hybrid cars on the market. And if you're thinking about buying a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid car, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, you can also take a look at carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.